Hey, how you going? Mark Meadis here. Thanks for watching today's little email breakdown. So I've decided to do a little bit of a lazy green screen here. So I'm doing the virtual. I've got a green screen behind me, but I'm doing a bit of the virtual green screen. So I just couldn't get the color right using the real screen on. So that's a really cool tool. So where are we? See this thing here? Great presentation tool. I just can't get my finger down low enough. Anyway, in the bottom corner, you can see there, this presentation tool is called So that's MMHMM. Great tool, allows you to really spice up your presentation. So, but today I'm using the lazy version of the green screen, so it's all a bit wonky anyway. The presentation might be a bit wonky, but the content I've got for you today is outstanding, I guarantee, to share some good stuff with you. All right, so today we're doing an email breakdown. So I got an email over the weekend that I wanted to chop up and share with you because it was a good email from a training perspective. There's lots of mistakes in it. And I know that whilst a lot of you probably aren't making all of these mistakes in the same email, I know you're making at least one of these mistakes. And I wanted to share with you ways that we should be trying to make this a little bit more effective or more impactful so that we get more responses, right? And one of the reasons why I'm doing this is because we need to be mindful that, poor outreach hitting our prospects' emails, inboxes is going to make it harder for us to break through. So the more bad emails that they get, the better our other emails have got to be to break through, right? So I'm trying to stop the tide here of, bad emails hitting people's inboxes. And this provides a great little instructional piece for everybody else. Now, this is not about flaming the person that sent this email to me. I'm not going to spend much time on the individual or the business. You'll see their details, but it's not about that at all. And just for full transparency, I have provided free coaching to this individual in a nice way. And the CEO has reached out to me and connected with me on LinkedIn and said, thanks very much for providing that coaching. So just full transparency there. This is not a flame-a-thon. This is a learn-a-thon. All right. So the first thing we need to do, obviously, is get some transparency or visualization around what that email was. So here we go. So this is the email that landed in my inbox. Let's get rid of me. There we go. So it's a pretty stock standard email. It looks like most other pieces of spam, if you like, a couple of short lines. It's not super powerful in its presentation. It's pretty easy to delete just through the way that it looks. And it's got the stock standard, links that are calling for a meeting. So what I've done is broken this down line by line to share with you where I think the good and the bad pieces are. So let's jump into that, right? So first up, there are some good things here, and let's highlight that straight away. So the subject line format is nice, right? My full name and then their company name. The subject line is always just about getting me to open it, right? So, or getting your prospects to open it. So if it's got my name and a company name in there, I'm going, okay, it's a cold outreach. I'm probably going to open it. The first line is, it's not great, but it's not the end of the world. It says, I saw you change positions recently and I found our mutual connections on LinkedIn. So the mutual connections that we've got are just people that connect with anyone. Okay. So they're pretty weak. Typically I would like to say who they were, and I see that you're also connected to XYZ because I've connected to the CEO since I received that email. We now have more connections, but you'll get the point. And I decided to reach out to you because new businesses always have new needs. So that's actually pretty credible. Okay. So I saw that you changed positions. Why didn't you list that? So, so recently, some of you will know that we started that new business sales development as a service. So I would say this: LinkedIn tells me that you recently started a new business sales director as a service. Okay. I decided to reach out because new businesses always have needs for new leads, right? Or have new needs. Either way. So, and just tie that together a little bit tighter. But this first line is pretty good in that it makes me read on, right? So it's talking about something that's happened in my world. There's a trigger event that they're tying to. Nice, great. Okay. I also think that this part of the email is written by somebody else. So whoever wrote this email, part of the email, didn't write the rest, because it really does fall into just marketing bluff after here. So this is where we get into trouble, right? So we build IT products for companies in Australia. Well, I'm in Australia, so that would be pretty easy for you to automate. You Mark. Okay, so trying to focus my attention. Well, one of the first people we wanted to reach out to since we entered the Australian market. Well, I'm calling bullshit. And if you did, and if that was the case, why wouldn't you say that in more detail? So, hey, Mark, we first noticed you in 2017 when you wrote an article about, the poor use of outreach or whatever, right? Because then I'd be like, okay, this is really specific for me. But this is just generic email, I believe, that they've tried to automate. So the name of the business delivers IT products with extensive experience in Flutter mobile app development and enhancing it with custom AI. This would escalate your customer engagement and contribute to your. So they've managed this whole this whole paragraph here without actually saying anything at all. I don't know what any of this is, right? The IT products Flutter mobile. So this is not relevant for me at all. But even if it was, right, it's still marketing based. It doesn't actually mean anything. So all this can go in my mind. If it's not going to be more personalized, if it's not going to be more relevant, this just has to go because it's just taking up space and reading time that's making it easy for me to say, what is this? Let's get rid of it. The next piece they go into social proof. Now, this is a really common mistake and something that I wanted to share with everybody else, right? So hang on, let me just jump back a bit. So most emails have got a version of this in there and you all just need to cut it out. Any marketing dump that talks about you, out, get rid of it, right? Then typically businesses like to throw in a little bit of social proof. That's what this is called. And it's a persuasions play. What you're trying to create here is we've worked with other people. We can work with you too. The problem with this is Coca-Cola and Samsung have absolutely nothing in common with Mark McGuinness, the sales consultancy business. So by including these social proof attempts, you're actually making it less likely that I'm going to engage with you. So the whole idea about using social proof is make it more likely that I'll engage. This is a common error. So have a look at your emails and make sure that you're not using social proof in a way that actually detracts from your attractiveness rather than increases your attractiveness. Lastly, CTA. So the CTA, of course, is how about 15 minutes? And then he says, worst case, so he's asked me to do something and straight away refocuses me on something else, which is about learning about best case software development practices. And again, I don't know why that would be relevant to a sales consultant. Cheers with his name. Then he says, PS, you can take a look at our portfolio. Okay, so you want me to do something else now? Look at your portfolio. Plus, so a third one, if you don't need an app, which I don't, our developers are available for staff augmentation. Okay, so we can check them out there. So there's 3 CTAs here, and every CTA that you add makes it harder for me to decide what to do. Just do one thing at a time and send one email, send one topic in one email. So this email has having a shot at everything. It's trying to be marketing. So it's trying to say, this is what we do. Okay. It's trying to say how great we are because we work with Google and Samsung. So this is all marketing goals, not sales goals. And then here it's giving me 3 different CTAs in case Luke's email messaging is off. And it's definitely off because I don't have any of these product needs at all. Okay. So the other thing here that really ruins this is that there's 4 clear lies that this email is making. Okay. 1, you're one of the first people we wanted to reach out to in Australia. This is absolutely not true. Okay. Otherwise you would prove it. 2, 15 minutes. Okay. It's not going to be 15 minutes. If it's get on the call, it's going to be 35 minutes. You know it, I know it. So by asking for 15 minutes, it's a lie. We both know it's a lie. Luke Bosch. So Luke Bosch is not Luke's name. Luke has got an Eastern European name and he's changed it on his email to sound more Western in an attempt to fit in. I get that, okay? And his email signature says that he's in California. But when I go to LinkedIn and I do a quick search to find who this Luke Bosch guy is, I can't find him anywhere. And what I have to do is end up searching through his business name, and then I can find a Luke B somebody else. And then I realize that this is in fact Luke, and Luke's changed his name. So there's a bit of, trickery going on here. And yet his location is in Georgia, Eastern European, not Georgia, South America. So with all these lies in his email, which are very easy to check, there's 0 trust here. So I'm certainly not going to reach out to somebody in another country to supply any IT services to me when they're telling 4 lies in a very short email. There's no credibility here at all. So, and it's really easy for me to check because I can just go to LinkedIn. So the really important thing here is that you need to remember 75% of people are going to check, if they want to do business with you, they're going to check your profile. They're going to do a Google search to try and find you. And that's going to take you to your LinkedIn profile a lot of times. So what Luke could have done was simply change his LinkedIn profile to say Luke B, right? So no other extension beyond that, just the letter B. Change his email signature to say Luke B, and change his location on LinkedIn to say California. And then 2 of these lies would have gone away. He could have done away completely with you on one of the first people we needed to reach out to and got rid of the CTA, and all these lies would have disappeared, and we would have had a much higher likelihood of wanting to engage with Luke because we wouldn't be scared about the lack of trust. All right, so it's really important and really easy, but most importantly, it's really easy to fix. Okay, so what could have this email look like? Hey, Mark, LinkedIn tells me you've got a new gig at SDAS. Nice work. This is true. Most new businesses are looking for leads, so it just made sense to reach out. Bang. Okay. If you're looking for some little known strategies to attract new clients, and I'm making this up because I have no idea what it was he was actually asking for, perhaps I can share some ideas. We've helped Jeb Blunt and Mike Weinberg manage their subscriber base. So these 2 guys, I'm going to go, okay, that's interesting. He's working with people in my space. Okay. What's the best way to share more? Really low friction. Either way, good luck in a new business, Luke B. Right. So this is all based on the fact that assuming I'm his perfect target. And in this instance, I think his targeting is way, way off. But, you know, if I was his perfect target, then he could use this framework to reach out to people who might be his perfect target to start a conversation. Much more powerful, easy to read, and one email part of an outreach program, right? It's not one and done. So instead of trying to do everything in one email, it's part of a thread. It's part of a, you know, you could send a second email based on this. You could then send a third follow-up email. You could go to LinkedIn, hit me up there. You could send the same message on LinkedIn. You could maybe even give me a telephone call if I was in your time zone, right? And then you're going to start having a much better chance of starting a conversation. Okay, so what if you've got, right now you're chewing your nails and thinking, oh my God, my emails need some work. I've recently started doing some one-on-one consulting for individuals. Not something I'm going to do a lot of, but I've got a little bit of capacity available. Go across to my Gumroad. So that's markmc.gumroad.com. And you can hire me for a simple one-on-one 90-minute consulting call. Not a lot of capacity there, but you know, there's a few people, a few spots available. Go there, pay, book, and then follow the instructions, send through your outreach, and I'll help you frame it up nicely. If you're in APAC and you want to learn about what's working and what's not working in APAC, February the 25th, I've got a free training. You go to LinkedIn, go to Mark McGuinness Sales Training company page, which you can find on my LinkedIn, and go and register. And then we're going to run a 45-minute free training, and I'm going to share the things that we need to be doing in 2022 versus the things that we're working in 2021. So that's it. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. I'll see you soon. Bye.